2 hours and 21 minutes. Did not really enjoy it. Wasn't terrible. But they clearly were just extending it. 4 suspects. 2 of them get the shit beaten out of them within 5 minutes. Then he finds the actual serial killer. The movie still lasts another 2 hours. So, throughout the movie, he's just beating the shit out of him, leaving him alive, but with worse injuries every time. But then, eventually, the killer finds out who's doing this, name, everything, because he wasn't wearing a mask. He was just doing this shit in front of him, broad daylight, beating the shit out of him. So, it's not exactly hard to find someone that's not hiding their face and identity. Eventually, he does get revenge on him in front of the dude's entire family, his mom and dad, and his son. They go and find him, and he has this thing set up that if they open the door, his head will get chopped off. So they're worried about him trying to get in to help him, which, not understanding that them getting in is what's going to hurt him. This is probably the best part of the movie. The last few minutes. This part and how it ends. It ends with him starting to laugh and then crying. And then he's laughing and crying at the same time. Because he finally got the revenge on the serial killer that killed his wife. But he's been attacking this man, injuring this man for days. And his wife is still gone. So, he is crying in sadness, but also laughing in relief that he's done with this man now. It's a pretty good ending, but besides that, I didn't really care for the movie. There's also, a joke about rape in the movie, and there is a rape scene in the movie where he forces a girl to give him a blowjob. It doesn't last long, fortunately. He comes in there and kicks his ass. There is a scene that's kind of ironic later in the movie where he says, "Nothing you can do can hurt me. I win." Yet earlier in the movie, one of the injuries he sustained was the dude ripping a piece of his foot out of the back out of his foot. Just ripping a piece off. And the dude was pounding on the floor in pain. That's a perfectly normal reaction. But he's pounding on the floor in pain like he's tapping out to the accolade or something. But yeah, later in the movie he's like, "Nothing can hurt me." Well, that scene from 30 minutes ago says otherwise. But yeah, it really wasn't that good of a movie. I had this movie on my list to watch for I think 7 months. I think it's the wife's dad or someone related to her that almost dies later in the movie. I don't know, I didn't pay too much attention, and I watched this movie in 2 days. Usually I finish the movie the first day. But I watched this yesterday, got a good hour and something done, and today I finished it. There was an hour and 35 minutes left. It just really wasn't that good. And I'm making this review 2 hours after I already finished the movie because I got busy. But there really isn't much to this movie. It's just a revenge plot that is satisfying since the killer is such a piece of shit. There's 2 really good scenes in the movie. In the first one is this scene where these two killers kidnap the killer, and they think they got lucky because now they got like an easy victim. But then they find out he's a killer too, and he just murders them both. And it's a really cool scene. He stabs the driver multiple times. He goes to the back seat and stabs him times, while the car is swerving and driving everywhere, and just stabbing them both over and over and over again. It's a really cool cinematography. And then when the car crashes, that's when we find out that they're killers too. At first, didn't think they were killers. Like, he pulls out a knife, and I was like, oh, he's just trying to defend himself because he's getting uneasy. But then the dude looks at the back of the trunk, and there's a person in it with their hands tied behind their back. And he says, crazy bastards. So that's when we find out that they're killers too. It's nothing is said, just the dude calling them crazy. I kind of like that. And then the other one was after the dude is like, yeah, I know who you are. He goes to surrender to the police, and he drives at him. But before that, he broke his door off his car, so it'd be easier to grab the dude. And he grabs the dude while driving and gets him in the car, which ends up leading to his death near the end of the movie. So out of an very long 2 hours and 21 minute movie, there was only 3 really good scenes. But they were really good. They weren't just mediocre, so I guess that's something. But overall, really wasn't that good of a movie. And I watched the English dub, so acting wasn't the best. I prefer watching movies in their original language as with English subtitles, but I had to watch this Japanese movie in English, which sucked. But yeah, it was decent enough. Not something I'd watch again since it's so long and there's only 3 good scenes. But yeah, I guess that's about it.